The views and opinions expressed by the participants on this show are not necessarily those of Stewart Information Services Corporation or Stewart Title. Before you make any investment, you should seek the advice of your investment advisor or attorney.
When it comes to real estate, everything matters. Whether you're a realtor, homeowner, buyer, or seller, Real Estate Matters with Stewart Title is here to inform, entertain, and inspire you. Host Bill Napick from Stewart Title will talk with guests about what really matters when it comes to owning, buying, and selling real estate. Real Estate Matters with Stewart Title starts right now. Here's your host, Bill Napick.
And welcome to the show, Real Estate Matters with Stewart Title. I am your host, Bill Napick. You'll never guess where I'm at. I am in Galveston, Texas, on location with tremendous guests. And Galveston, Texas is so important for so many reasons. Right here at the historic Stewart Title building. It has been here since the 1800s. Many of you may not know that Stewart is over 125 years ago, and we started right here in Galveston, Texas. And we are now, and we've gone on to be an international company. Certainly we are Galveston's hometown title company, Houston's hometown title company, and we are in fact an international company traded on the New York Stock Exchange, started right here in historic Galveston, Texas. So it's so much fun to be right here in this building with tremendous guests on Real Estate Matters with Stewart Title. So if you are listening here in Galveston, Texas, Houston, Texas, New York City, or anywhere else, this show has been put together with a great cast, and we think you're going to enjoy it. Galveston is certainly well known here in the Texas area. It is known all over the world, and we're going to find out about Galveston, Texas from realtors and the one and only Gina Spagnola. She is the president and CEO of the Galveston Chamber of Commerce. Gina, welcome to the show.
Welcome to Galveston.
It is so great to be here once again. So let's tell people wherever they're listening about the Galveston Chamber of Commerce, and first what you do for the Chamber.
Welcome, and I'm still trying to get you to move here.
Well,
at least have a second home here. I need you here.
This is a spot for so many things,
Isn't
and you
it?
mentioned it, the second home is one of them.
Second home is one of them. About the Chamber, we're the oldest chamber in Texas. We were established by the Republic of Texas in 1845. Stewart Title, speaking of history, I looked it up this morning. They've been a member of our chamber for 83 years.
Unbelievable.
Great partnership. Love the people of Stewart Title. You do great work.
Thank you so much for that. And here we are in a building with individuals.
Isn't it beautiful?
It
I've
is.
never been in this room. I love it.
And this is
It's a
called
museum.
the Stewart Room. It is like a museum. There's documents here, in fact, signed by Sam Houston and many other people that people would know. And not too far from my hand that I'm pointing at right
Yes.
now, we have the picture of our founder of the company, Mako Stewart, so many years ago. So we're here with great history. We're making history as we go, and the best is yet to come.
The best is yet to come.
And you have your hands on the heartbeat of what's going on in Galveston and what's going to.
It's so exciting right now. You know, you hear a lot about the cruise ships. I brought some interesting facts because I'll forget something, and then someone will say, you didn't say anything about the port. Fourth largest port now.
Is that right?
Have you been on a cruise?
I have not been on a cruise. I don't think I've ever been on a
What
cruise.
in the world?
But I
So
do
pack
other
your
stuff.
bags, come down. That's the wonderful thing about living here. We can pack our bags, walk across the street, and take a cruise. But the fourth largest now, the Port of Galveston remains ranking fourth busiest cruise port in the nation.
That's unbelievable.
But
In
so
the
many-
nation.
In the nation.
Wow.
Cruise activity generated $58 million in local passenger and onshore spending, and another $19.1 million in services provided. So it's huge industry for Galveston. It's lovely to come down. What we love is, of course, Texans will get in there in car and drive, and so will people from Arkansas and Oklahoma and all the surrounding states. So they come in and cruise. But the wonderful thing, and the thing that we've really been pushing, are those pre and post. Is there's so much to offer, and what we find are people that are driving from those states didn't know pre-cruise what we had to offer in all of our attractions. And we've got a lot of people that spend that extra day here, and now we're finding them as neighbors here because they're falling in love with Galveston. And we feel like you can go to a whole lot of places, but we feel like we're just as special as a lot of those places that they're cruising out to see. So we've got that going on. The chamber itself, I'll just talk about a couple of events that we've had that have been hugely successful. And I want to talk about tourism, if I could, for a little bit. We had 6.5 million tourists last year. We expect
Well, wait a second. That number astounds me, but I'm sure there are people listening. Say that again, Gina. So there was
6.5 million
last year. Unbelievable. That's a lot of people.
Well, they're discovering what your guest, and I know it's brought us here. The thing about Galveston that you and I have talked about many times is we have something to offer everyone, and our realtors are going to talk about the lifestyle here in Galveston and why we chose, a lot of us could live anywhere, but we chose Galveston, my husband and I, for the history. We came down on just a historic homes tour and fell in love, living in Houston, love those Astros, love that we're 50 miles away from Houston and I can go and enjoy all those wonderful things. But for us, for my family, we love the history of this place. We've traveled the world, and it's really special. People say Savannah, Charleston. Well, you know what? Galveston, one of the greatest collections of Victorian architecture that you'll see. I had the honor of producing the Historic Homes Tour and Dickens on the Strand, a hugely successful event and so special and recognized across the nation, but not a cookie cutter place. You can live on the beach. You could live downtown and loft living, and the Victorian architecture is what brought us here. And there's just something for everyone. Our education has been so great. We've come so far. The Chamber's role, which I'm very proud of, we are in the schools. We're bringing the business community into the schools. We are producing these little young entrepreneurs starting from kindergarten through Lemonade Day. Galveston County, we had over 1,000 young kids own and operating their own businesses. We helped in the establishment of an incubator in our high school, so that now these little kids, we're talking about the chamber. What kindergartner or a fifth grader, knows about a chamber of commerce? Well, guess what? Ours does, and they know how to put a business plan together, and they know how to present that. So, we're involved in our schools. Our business community steps up time and time again to give back, to mentor. We've got young professionals moving here. Last time you and I spoke, we had just started the C Crew, the under 40 professionals. I think we may have had 50. We have 200. And because of the gentleman, Tom Schwenk, that you're going to be talking to, and people like him, they invest in those young professionals. Galveston's in a place where you can come and just relax by the beach and sort of disappear. A great place to retire. A great place when you're young to raise a family. We're safe. We have good education. We've got the beach. We've got something every single day, like invitations to go to parties and special events and things. You really have to begin to pick and choose. You can't do everything. So for young people, young professionals looking for that community that's special, we're the place.
Going back to how you found Galveston with your husband, you looked at the historic homes tour, and that inspired you. Here you are. You didn't just move here, but now you have been a very important part of Galveston. All these, how many years you've been with the Chamber? 14?
14 years with the Chamber. I was with the Historical Foundation for 10. And I will say that both of those jobs, I moved from Houston. I worked for Occidental, and I absolutely loved that and loved that organization, loved my experience there. But I'm going to tell you, this just opened up so many doors for me and my family. But yes, it was the Victorian architecture. But going back, I was the person that came into Galveston and took a ride on 61st Street and laid out and had some breakfast tacos, which are amazing. Speaking of, our restaurants are
some great restaurants.
Oh my gosh. Best Gulf shrimp that you'll ever have.
Yeah,
go
now
travel,
you're making
go
me
try to
hungry.
find out. We're going to go lunch.
you
So we're
go.
taking you to one of those. But best restaurants, but it's not just that. It's, you can experience the Victorian architecture and all that has to come. We moved out of that and moved on the water, and we were facing Moody Gardens and enjoying that phenomenal view. If you are a birder, my mother-in-law used to travel from New York, from New England, which at the time was first in the nation. some of the best birding that you'll ever see. If we're not, we
Now,
might be I think we might be, I could go look it up real quick. I think we're number one in birding. So we get those tourists, but we get those people coming here and then seeing sort of what we have to offer in our way of life. The young professionals say they started a My Galveston campaign, a hashtag My Galveston. One of the things is hashtag, their Galveston is being at the beach at 5:05.
And let's just clarify for those that don't know, when we say birding, that means like bird watchers?
Oh, nature tourism. Our
Okay.
nature tourism. We've got some of the finest, most rare birds, the nature tourism. And why is the president...
And I saw some of them going over the bridge to get here.
Oh, my gosh. Well, I get to see it every single day. If you lived here, then you'd get to see the brown pelicans and that
yes.
sunrise every day. So my commute, leaving and driving down the beach, is that glorious sunrise and that beautiful blue water. If you're listening right now, come on down, because our water is, yes, blue at different times of the year, and living here we get to experience that. When it's brown, we're okay with that too, because that's very good for our environment, as is the seaweed. So just relax and enjoy that. That's very good for our shrimp and for all those little things that make our sea so great. Our Convention and Visitors Bureau has done such a phenomenal job with our beaches. If you have not been down, we have now, you probably haven't even seen it, an extension of our beaches
Have
that
not.
are, I look at it every morning and I think, oh my gosh. They extended the beach and the sand and brought sand, and they're continuing to do that. But Kelly Deshawn and her great team at the Convention and Visitors Bureau are responsible for that. The city's doing a really fine job at our streets and bringing them back up, taken street by street. And so the potholes and some of the things, we have a lot of tourists, so there's a lot of wear and tear on our historic and old infrastructure, but we're all really focused and working together to make a better Galveston, and some really great events.
Well, let's
coming up.
highlight, before we wind up this segment, let's highlight just a few events that are happening that people should know about this summer, but then also give us a hint of preview of what lies beyond, say, in the fall and the end of the year, if you would.
I think most listening will know that we produce one of the finest Mardi Gras. Yes, we think it's just as
That's
fine
right.
as New Orleans. Some say that it started here, some say that it was in New Orleans, but nevertheless, it's an easy drive down, and it's a safe, wonderful, fun environment. We've actually got a little Lemonade Day crew. We're the Crew de Limon, so you can jump on our crew and be a part of our crew, but always Mardi Gras. We've got Art Walk, which is really always popular for Houstonians. They come down. We've got a June 2nd, July 14th, which is my daughter's birthday, Bastille Day, August 25th, October 13th, and November 24th. What a lovely opportunity to come down, spend the night, walk our historic streets and our historic downtown, and see some of the finest art that you'll ever see. We've got so many artists here, and their crafts beautiful. You go in and you can have drinks and enjoy some wonderful food and buy some art and hear some music. The Chamber always has our golf tournament, which is a lot of fun. It'll be September 10th. If anyone wants to just come down, you actually don't have to be a Chamber member to be a part of that really great event. Oktoberfest in October. There's not a day in October that we don't have something going on. That's October 20th through October 26th and 27th. The Lone Star Motorcycle Rally. Have you ever been?
Have not?
Oh, so much fun. You're going to go with me this year.
There you go.
Come down. I'll take you to lunch. We'll eat at the booths. It's so great. November 1st through the 4th, and then Dickens on the Strand, December 1st and 2nd. We always have the Historical Homes Tour. The Chamber produces a wonderful women's conference that's one of the best in the nation. We had almost 1,000 women here this year. So go on to the galvestonchamber.com. We have a community calendar. There's something for everyone. It's a wonderful place with our Moody Gardens and Schlitterbahn and the Pleasure Pier and everything. There's something for everyone in the family.
And
to
also,
do.
Gina, let's tell people, too, you have a radio show. Let's tell them if they want to find the website or something.
This is another thing that we're so proud of what our schools are doing. Our high school has K-Tour radio. And they gave me a spot. It was just a radio station, and now it's gone wild on social media, so you can actually view it. It's live at 2 every Monday. I want to have you on. Then I could interview you. You'd be
Live at
great
2. That
guest.
would be
I'm just trying to
fun.
get you down. Live at 2 every Monday. It goes to over 2 million, they say, on social media, but it gives me as the president of the chamber to really bring on our members and talk to our members. We have lots of nonprofits and attractions and our realtors and stuff, but it gives them an hour to really talk about what they're doing, and it's a great return on investment for our members that they have the opportunity to do that.
Well, you may not be a realtor, but you just sold a second home, I think. I'm thinking about
I
it.
want you down here. I'm on it. Yeah,
Very nice.
you got to be here. We'll get y'all involved. So thank you for the opportunity and all you do. I had so much fun working with you on the Miss Galveston
That
when
was
we
a
did
few
that.
years ago, and that was
Oh,
super
you were so
fun.
good.
Thank you for that. Well, Gina, let's tell people again. The website is galvestonchamber.com, right?
That's it. Or you could email me directly at gspagnola@galvestonchamber.com.
Spagnola@galvestonchamber.com.
That's
Gina
it.
Spagnola. Thank you, Gina, for being on the show. And Gina will be back in a little bit. We're going to take a short break and come right back with even more on Real Estate Matters with Stewart Title.
Most people don't know that Stewart offers business, home, and auto insurance. In fact, Stewart Insurance and Risk Management has been doing that and more for over 10 years. And they partner with many leading insurance companies to offer great rates. They're a national insurance agency operating in all 50 states, delivering a broad range of insurance products. Whether you need a home insurance quote for a client's home closing or your own insurance needs, you can count on them. Call 866-845-4676. That's 866-845-4676. Stewart Insurance and Risk Management is here to help.
And welcome back. Real Estate Matters with Stewart Title. I am your host, Bill Nappick. We are on location at Stewart Title in Galveston, Texas. That's right. That's where our company started, right here around 125 years ago. And we are honored now to have a great realtor on the show who found his way to Galveston years ago. His name is Tom Schwenk. Tom, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Bill. It's great to be here.
Here we are in Galveston, Texas. Who would have thought?
I sure wouldn't have. I was a New York City boy, born and bred. And I fortunately, in 1984, was transferred to Houston. And even more fortunate, I met my husband the first weekend who had a place here in Galveston. Never looked back.
There you are. And what a contrast in life from the north. Now, I'm from Pennsylvania. Here you are in the south, but not only that, in Galveston Island. Unbelievable. Let's tell people about your real estate company.
Sure. Tom's Galveston Real Estate. Talk to Tom. I have 4 agents, a marketing social media director because I'm not a real good tweeter or social media person, but I have somebody. I have an operations manager. We office down on the historic Strand in a building that was built in 1876.
History abounds and knowledge abounds in this room. Incredible. And Tom, talk to Tom. Now, how can people forget? They can't forget that even if they want to.
You know, that adding that with my wonderful Southern accent, boy howdy, yippee skippy.
You
I'm
have
here.
the recipe for success. So let's tell people, and people listen, they may be in Houston right now, some people in Galveston, no doubt. However, people hear the show far and wide. Let's tell people, if you would, paint a picture for them of what they'd find from a real estate standpoint here in Galveston in case they want that second home or retire or whatever they want to do.
What they're going to find is peace of mind. You're going to find a relaxing, wonderful place to live in a diverse and tolerant community. You have historic homes, and you have beautiful, brand new beach homes. And I like to imagine Texas is big on football. Imagine a Texas football game. You're sitting up in the stands and you're watching. You're watching the cheerleaders. They're young, they're vibrant, they're full of life. That's our beach communities. Young, vibrant, full of life. Have as much fun as you want. Then you look at the grandmothers and grandfathers cheering on their grandchildren. Those are our historic structures. You look at the experience and the love in their face. That's our East End. That's our city part of town. You add the two of them together, people have raised families, and like everyone else, teenagers want to move away. 10 years later, amazingly, they come back and they raise their families here.
As far as the real estate market right now, give us an idea of how, from your perspective as a realtor for many years, what is the market like right now? Brisk?
The market is healthy. It's certainly brisk. We're getting a lot of second home buyers on smaller historic cottages, and the beach is doing well. But it's also what's really wonderful, as Gina alluded to, the Galveston Independent School District has done a marvelous job. I've always been a fan, but particularly in the last 5 to 6 years, they've done wonderfully, and a lot of folks are moving here with their children. The CEO of the University of Texas Medical Branch, Dr. David Callender, sent his son son to Galveston Ball High School. He's now a junior at the honors program at the University of Texas. If that doesn't speak magnitudes, I don't know what else is. I just had a friend who, unfortunately, their home was lost in Harvey. Their son was a junior in high school. He's coming down here. He's going to finish at O'Connell next year. I sold a house to a family from Galveston. Their little girl was in 8th grade. They wanted her in a more diverse, tolerant community. They moved here. She graduated from Ball High last year and is doing spectacular at the University of Houston. So Galveston is a wonderful place. You can retire here because of UTMB. There's something for everyone. And by the way, this lovely blue water we've been talking about is great, but I hope it doesn't stay around too much longer, because then we're going to be called San Diego and we won't be able to afford it.
They'll be selling some real estate, though. Let's go back to the idea of the second home. When people are buying that second home, where are they coming from? Is there one place, or what's are they coming from Houston to have the second home, or where?
A lot of folks are coming from Houston. However, in the last year, I've had to say that we probably in our firm have sold 10 to 12 second homes to folks from either California or the Eastern Seaboard. The reasons being, they can't afford anything out there. The taxes on both coasts are ridiculous. Here they can do it. We've transformed many of our neighborhoods with short-term rentals, which, by the way, we have some of the strongest regulations on short-term rentals. So they coexist wonderfully within our neighborhoods. It's a great way for someone to have a beach house that they can only get to for maybe a month or two a year, and then block out the other dates to make money. So it's a great win-win for us in the city and for those folks who eventually will retire here.
Okay, let's play a little game here. Let's talk about money and what money can buy for a home, and it could be a home or even a condo. So let's say someone wanted to spend $200,000. We'll start there. What would they be able to find, if anything, for that price?
Sure. If you wanted to be downtown in a condo, you could get a lovely one-bedroom and a historic building that probably would have a roof garden on top. May or may not have parking, but it'd be completely furnished, completely refurbished. The HOA fees are ridiculously inexpensive. They're not even anywhere near what a rent would be. You could also get a lovely raised Gulf Coast cottage. May have been one of the commissary homes that were built after the 1900 storm for workers. Flood insurance is cheap because they're south of Broadway. And those are going to go from 150 to 210.
That sounded pretty good. Let's reach into the money bag and pull out $300,000. What are we going to find there?
Well, for $300,000, you're going to find a lovely 3-bedroom, 2-bath, one of our famous Galveston bungalows. Many of them are even called triplets because 3 of them were built around the 20s, and they were built by the same builders. You could go and get a great 2-bedroom, 2-bath condo overlooking the seawall and have nice beach living with a great balcony.
Good.
Living large is what it is. And all of a sudden, you got to put LED lights in it because your family's going to stay for a lot more than 3 days. And in 3 days, I noticed that people kind of look pale with LED lighting, so they scoot.
And now we reach in once again and pull out $500,000. Now what are our choices?
$500,000, now you're really living large. I just had the pleasure of showing clients and from Northern California a couple of homes in the $500,000 to $700,000 range. They are deciding strongly on one of them, and they were saying that home in Northern California would be $3.5 to $4 million. So you're talking $500,000 to $700,000 here in Galveston and on the beach, which Carolyn will be speaking about later. You're going to find pretty much what you want, where you want it.
And one more time, we're going in and pulling out $1 million cash, or let's say $1.5 million just for the fun of it. What can we buy for $1.5 million? And what are our choices for that?
What my major choice probably be for $1.5 million. There's a spectacular historic home on Avenue T that's got 4 acres that was done by John Staub, did some of the renovation. Spectacular home, or you could buy a beautiful beach front lot and build to your heart's content. And there are a few homes over $1 million on the West End, as well as a couple of mansions in town that probably may or may not come with a ghost. And not many people can claim that.
What it makes me think of is not only do you get a choice of views, new construction, I would think, but also here you can buy a piece of history, which is really incredible and unique.
Absolutely. As Gina alluded to, our inventory of Victorian homes and our Gulf Coast cottage vernacular is spectacular. It's second to none, in my opinion. And I've been all over this country. I tell you, You can go to a lot of places in a lot of cities, and everything looks the same. We have a lovely store here, a lunch place, drugstore. You walk in there, and it's where they integrated their lunch counter. It was the first place in Texas.
Once again, history, yes.
And here it is, and it just makes you feel so good. And that's, I'll go back to, it's racially diverse and tolerant. We're a wonderful, welcoming place.
And tell people also, as far as condos, we mentioned that earlier. What about the condo market? Are there a lot of choices for condos? And give us a word, too, about new construction as far as homes and even condos.
Sure. There's a lot of condos. There's condos for the UTMB students. There's some for young professionals just starting out. There's beach condos. There's high-rise condos. Depending, whatever your budget is, we have something for everyone. We have new construction. I just went to a housewarming party in a lovely neighborhood called Avia, which was all new construction, new builds to invoke Savannah, Galveston, and Charleston. So we have something for everyone. There's spectacular builders right here on the island. No need to go anywhere else.
That sounds good. And the other thing, what I would tell people is talk to Tom. And you're Tom.
I am. And I look forward to it. Tom'sGalvestonRealEstate.com or Tom at Tom's Galveston Real Estate.
It can't be any simpler.
You know, those of us lucky enough to live by the sea are lucky enough.
Very nice, Tom. And also, let's tell people how they can reach out to you.
Tom at Tom'sGalvestonRealEstate.com. Tom's Galveston Real Estate is my website. Thank you.
Very nice. Ladies and gentlemen, Tom Schwenk, thank you for being on the show, Tom. We are going to take another little break. Stay with us. More on Real Estate Matters with Stewart Title right here from Galveston, Texas.
Most people don't know that Stewart offers business, home, and auto insurance. In fact, Stewart Insurance and Risk Management has been doing that and more for over 10 years. And they partner with many leading insurance companies to offer great rates. They're a national insurance agency operating in all 50 states, delivering a broad range of insurance products. Whether you need a home insurance quote for a client's home closing or your own insurance needs, you can count on them. Call 866-845-4676. That's 866-845-4676. Stewart Insurance and Risk Management is here to help.
And welcome back. Real Estate Matters with Stewart Title. Bill Nappick still here in Galveston, Texas. And now we get to talk to Carolyn Gaido. She is with Sand and Sea Properties. Carolyn, welcome to the show.
Thanks, Bill. And it's so great to be here with you in the Stewart room.
And when we say Sand and Sea Properties, that almost says it all, but you can tell us more about your company.
Sand and Sea has been in business for, I would say, over 50 years. They are unbelievable. They're great people to work for. They are not only the top real estate agency in Galveston, they have the top rental program on the island. We have 15 agents.
And you're one of them. You're probably the top agent.
I have been a top agent on this island for 32 years. And it is just wonderful being here, working the Galveston area and working with the wonderful people that buy on the west end of Galveston Island. We have 40 subdivisions on the west end of Galveston Island. 28 of them are beach communities, and 12 of them are bay communities. So we have beach people and we have bay people, and we work with both.
Who would have thought? And also, I like the idea that you're mentioning rentals. We'll talk about that a little bit more. And let's tell people, as far as the West End, you use that term. We hear it in Houston all the time. But let's tell people, in case they don't know what the West End is, a little bit about it.
The West End is mostly resort property. There are a lot of permanent residents down on the West End. But right now, I think Galveston is on fire. I feel that we are headed for a seller's market because we have very low inventory in many areas.
And you mentioned the beach and the bay people. That sounds fascinating because it gives people the idea you have choices. When you're purchasing a property or even renting a property, you have choices here of the views and other things.
You do, Bill. On the West End, you either, if you like to walk on the beach and pick up shells, then you want the more Coney Island type life. But if you like to fish, you want a boat, you want seclusion, then you're going to want the bay. So we have everything.
And as you mentioned that, the different scenes and views that are possible, it makes me think of inspiration too. People can be inspired when they, no matter where they live, but certainly living in the environment and ambiance of Galveston with these choices, they're inspired in their lives. It gives them time to think. Maybe they're in the art world. Maybe they're writing books. I'm getting inspired talking to you.
Well, we have people buying homes in Galveston from all over. Houston, the Woodlands, Cypress, Dallas, Austin. And we have doctors, lawyers, oil people, software people, and I would say most all of the oil companies are represented by someone on the west end of the island. And maybe all over, but I know we see a lot of oil people.
That's fascinating. And you are a native of the island.
I'm
you were
a native
born here.
of the island, and I'll tell you this. I have 2 homes here.
2?
I have a home that I built to live in Colony Park, and then I have a bay house right on the bay on Sportsman Road. And it's wonderful. I mean, it's my little heaven. I just look out to the water, and it's just so refreshing. We fish, we boat, it's wonderful. The grandchildren love it. They go fishing on the pier. We have a 123-foot pier in front of the house, and it's great. And I've sold a lot of properties to people from Houston on Sportsman that have lived now on Sportsman Road.
Now, give people an idea. You mentioned Colony Park. What part of the city is that?
Colony Park is it's more west now. At one time, it probably was the center of town. It's not anymore. Galveston Island is 32 miles long, and our west end is probably about 20 miles long. So, in that 20-mile stretch, we have 40 subdivisions, 28 beach communities, and 12 bay communities.
Certainly you love Galveston, but also it seems like that and real estate is integrated into you in such a major way. Let's tell people what you love, Carolyn, about real estate, because you could be doing so many things even here in Galveston, but why real estate?
Well, I think we have some of the best coastal property anywhere around, and especially their wonderful values. And I think Galveston has a lot to offer. It's 50 miles from a major city. It's 50 miles from a major airport. And we have wonderful family-owned restaurants, 3 museums. We have one of the best ports. I think Gina said it was number 4.
That's right.
So, and then we have Slitterbaum, Moody Gardens. And, of course, the beach is wonderful. And since they've renourished it, it is just a great feeling to see the water in the morning when I'm on my way to work and to look out and see people enjoying the beach. It's just such a wonderful feeling to see that happening.
In fact, there's a restaurant even called Gaido's. Am I right?
Absolutely. That's my family. Yes,
That's
it is.
extra fun, right?
Yes. And I have both of my children working with me now in the business, Kimberly Gaido and Michael Gaido. Anyway, it's wonderful. I've thoroughly enjoyed having them working with me.
You're having a good time with that.
Absolutely.
And you're saying the market is in great condition now, and certainly we're just guessing here, speculating, but as it plays out, here we are in June already. How do you see it wind up for the year? How do you see the momentum? Do you see it continuing, getting stronger, or what?
I think it's gonna stay strong. And I'm not saying the prices are off the wall. I think they're good. We are hurting in some areas, like the 500,000 price range. We just don't have any inventory.
You don't have in the 500. You don't have any.
Well, it's very slim. It's very, very slim, and we need new construction in the worst way. In fact, I would say we're really we don't have enough.
And that's
right
fascinating because there's parts of Houston where they say the 500 or maybe 600-700 price point is harder to sell now. However, down here, it's in demand, it sounds like.
Well, the 500 price range is. The problem with the west end of the island is that it's an aging area, and we're running out of land, and the lots that are available are extremely high. Maybe you don't have a view. Maybe you might have to settle for something other than beachfront. But beachfront lots are extremely high, people are buying them. What can I say?
And sometimes they may buy a block or two from the beach. That's fine too, right?
Absolutely.
There's choices
and we're
there.
seeing them tearing down old houses and putting up new structures. So the island is making a change. People want to be on the west end of the island. They love it. That's where their friends are. It's just wonderful to work in that kind of atmosphere.
Something about that West End. If I were a songwriter, I'd be writing a song about the West End right now, but I'll work on it. We may have something there. Give us another word about the West End or anything else you'd like, Carolyn.
I think it's some of the best resort property that you're going to find anywhere along the Texas coast.
And here's what I just thought of. Let's say somebody, and just briefly, if you would, let's say somebody's listening, and I bet this has happened a million times. People that are listening right now, or someone comes from Houston and says, Carolyn, they make contact with you and they say, Carolyn, I'm interested in a home and the price range is, I don't know, X amount, 300,000, whatever it may be. I have this much to spend. What are the questions, or at least one or two questions you would ask them to be able to determine what you're going to show them and what's available?
Well, I find out, I want to know what they like to do. You know, I want to know, are you a beach person? Are you a bay person? And then from there, I get their parameters. Are you 300 to 500? Are you 300 to 400? And I work from there.
Very nice. Ladies and gentlemen, Carolyn Gaido. And Carolyn, let's tell people how they can reach out to you.
It's Carolyn Gaido at sandandsea.com. 713-851-3377.
Give her a call at 713-851-3377. Carolyn Gaido, this is Bill Nampick on Real Estate Matters. Still trying to figure out if I'm a beach or a bay person, but I may know by the time we get back from this break. Stay with us. We're coming right back. Thank you, Carolyn.
Most people don't know that Stewart offers business, home, and auto insurance. In fact, Stewart Insurance and Risk Management has been doing that and more for over 10 years. And they partner with many leading insurance companies to offer great rates. They're a national insurance agency operating in all 50 states, delivering a broad range of insurance products. Whether you need a home insurance quote for a client's home closing or your own insurance needs, you can count on them. Call 866-845-4676. That's 866-845-4676. Stewart Insurance and Risk Management is here to help.
And welcome back. Real Estate Matters with Stewart Title. Bill Nampick here in the historic Stewart Building in Galveston, Texas. And now, speaking of history, he has done a tremendous job making history right here at Stewart Title. He is the Senior VP of the Greater Houston area. My pleasure to talk to David Norris. David, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Bill. Always good to be back.
There, it sounds like I'm trying to get a raise, too, doesn't it? But we are so glad to be here, and thank you so much for your hospitality. It just has, not just Galveston has its own charm, but our location here at Stewart Title, you know it does. That's why people come here, and that's why you're here. Let's tell them a little bit about this location, this historic, fun location.
Well, I'm pretty blessed to work for a great company, and the cool part is that I get to work out of the original Stewart building, which we've owned since 1905.
1905.
Yeah, just a little bit older than me.
And exactly, in the room that we're in, now people, unless they tune into the YouTube channel, and they may, there's so much history right in this room that is in the building that's so historic. I mean, portraits are here of our founders. Sam Houston's signature is somewhere else in this room, but let's tell people some of the historical milestones and things that you can tell us about this building and room.
Well, the Stewart family has a great lineage on the island. One of them was Judge William Stewart, who is this room is named after. He was instrumental in the land swap with the XIT Ranch, in where they harvested the pink quarry to build the state capitol. So the picture on the wall over there is the same picture that hangs in the House of Representatives at the state capitol. And his notoriety is he's the father of the state capitol.
Wow.
Yeah. And he's the father of Mako Stewart, who's the founder of Stewart Title.
And that's interesting, and we're here not far from the portrait of Mako Stewart, but can you imagine, I mean, when you think about history, the mind always, it provokes thought all the time, no matter what. But here we are doing a radio show with the portrait of Mako Stewart a few feet from us. Did he know that we'd have a radio show someday and that we would be an international company traded on the New York Stock Exchange?
I doubt it. Back then, they probably didn't even have radio when he first started the company in 1893.
Either that or he was a good friend of Marconi. Who knows?
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
But also, here we are at Stewart Title, and one of the things, we're closing real estate transactions here for many, many years. People really enjoy coming to this part of history and making history in their own lives.
Yes, sir. I mean, we have a vast back plant of title work. Of course, our lineage started in 1893. We have ties to the Galveston City Company, which was the inception of Galveston Island in 1848. You know, we've got some pretty good history that we can lean on.
And the other thing, when we go around, I know taking the tour years ago here, when we go into the different rooms, there's records that, I mean, it looks like they're original paper records, kind of like an old library. Give us an idea of how the record keeping is and how it goes back into history.
Well, prior to, it was the early 1900s, everything was done by abstracts. So what you're referring to are some old abstracts, you know, and they all date back to the 1890s, 1880s, and so on. Title insurance didn't really get traction in Texas until the early 1900s. And Stewart, you know, has one of their claim is that they issued the first title insurance policy in the state of Texas.
So people are, and then for you here, you've been with Stewart how many years, David?
I started in '86, took a little break, and probably a total of 24 years. Living the dream, man.
And we really are. And as far as the marketplace, from your perspective here at our office, our historic office in Galveston, how do you find the market here as we're closing real estate transactions every day?
Well, as you heard from Tom and you heard from Carolyn, we've been extremely blessed with the market the way it is in Galveston Island. Pretty much, you know, count your blessings, you're in Texas. Texas is robust. The Galveston-Houston area is a little bit they're doing great.
It's really spectacular. Also, David, let's give people a word about the team here. We're going to hear from Tracey, our business development officer, here in a second. But also, you have some legendary, and I'm talking legendary, people like Harriet Dews and some others here on the team that are just so instrumental in real estate and integrated into the Houston real estate world in a major way. Let's tell people a little bit about them.
I've been extremely fortunate. I mean, of course, I've been here a long time, but I'm fortunate to work with some folks that have been here a lot longer than that. We have some experience that is next to none. We've been asked to, you know, help out some local churches as to tracking back the lineage back into when the Galveston City Company had the property or started donating property, and it's 1840s, 1850s.
Unbelievable. David, anything else you want people to know if they want to reach out here and close not only have a real estate closing, but have it in a historic location? What should they do?
Yes, sir. Just remember Stewart Title, corner of 22nd and Mechanic. Can't miss it. The building's been here since 1883, and as I mentioned, we've occupied the building since 1905.
Excellent. Ladies and gentlemen, David Norris. He is the Senior VP of the Greater Houston area. David, thank you so much for being on the show.
Thank you, Bill.
And now we get to talk to Tracey Ranck. She's the Business Development Officer right here in our historic location. Tracey, welcome to the show.
Hi, Bill.
Good to see you, and thank you so much for assembling such tremendous guests here today.
Thank you so much, and I appreciate you coming to Galveston so we didn't have to go all the way up to Houston and hit traffic today.
I've been looking forward for a long time to doing a remote show here, and here we are doing it right here today. Let's tell people your role here at Stewart Title in this great location.
So I am a business development officer with Stewart Title, and I cover the Galveston main office, which we are currently at, and then also the West End. So I get to see Tom and Carolyn all the time.
How fun is that? And let's tell people, as far as our office, we've talked a lot about the historic location here, but let's tell them about the West End office from your perspective.
So the West End office, it is surrounded by a ton of beautiful beachfront homes. So I get to drive there almost every single day and get a great look. We have 2 escrow officers over there, so they can handle a lot of
transactions.
And they're
doing that probably
exactly.
right now as we
Yes.
speak. So how many escrow officers are here in the main location?
So in the main location, we have 3. We have Dana Phillips, we have Nancy Redden, and we have Mary Watley.
And Harriet Dews. Let's
And
tell a word
Harriet
about Harriet. She
Dews.
is so great.
She is famous, and I think that is why people are taking to me because I've only been here a couple of months. But
She's paving the way for you a little bit.
She is. Everyone loves her, and she is huge in Galveston. And I do appreciate her helping me with this job. She is our branch manager, and she does just about everything.
Yeah, she really knows a lot and contributes a lot. And the thing, like David was saying, it's so important. It's not just one person, whether you're a real estate professional, whether you're at the Chamber of Commerce, it takes that team. That is so important to making any organization work. We have to have that teamwork to be running smooth all the time.
Absolutely. Absolutely. We have great escrow officers. We have great processors and examiners. At the West End, we also have Melissa and Nolan. He is brand new.
It's awesome.
Give him a try. He's
well, Tracey,
great.
And Tracey, let's tell people how they can reach out to you if they want to close that transaction at either location.
So you can reach out to me at Tracey, Tracey, .Ranck, RANCK, @Stewart.com. Or you can just call one of the offices and they'll transfer you to me.
Tracey Ranck, ranking at number one all the time, right?
Exactly, Bill.
That's what your friends are saying. Thank you, Tracey, for being on the show. Bill Nappick here, Real Estate Matters with Stewart Title. I'm going to buy that second home in Galveston before I leave. I'm feeling it right now. We're coming right back. Stay with us. And we're with Michelle Steffen with Stewart Insurance and Risk Management. Hello, Michelle.
Hey, Bill. How's it going?
It's going great. When we think about insurance, there are so many insurance companies. I mean, competition is out there for all of us in any walk of life. But when we think about insurance, home, auto, all those insurance needs that people have, what are some of the distinctions when people work with Stewart Insurance and Risk Management?
That's a great question. You know, there's so many positive things that a customer can experience working with us. First of all of our insurance agents are licensed. You know, they go through extensive training to obtain that license. But that's just the beginning. Once they get licensed, then they go through a comprehensive training program that we've developed meant to help them communicate with a customer about the things that are important. So we've talked at length before about how complex insurance can be, and our goal is ultimately to simplify it, put it into terms that everybody can understand, and then help people to be confident in the decisions that they make about their coverage. So we've remodeled the status quo for our own people, and we train them, we encourage them, we encourage growth and professionalism, and our goal is that every time they communicate with our team, regardless of who it is, from the top to the bottom, that they get that same feel. We want them to feel like they hugged us through the phone. And I mean that with all my heart.
In fact, the people with your company and people that are on your team, it's almost like they're interpreters. They're interpreting the language of insurance to those that need it and helping them find the right blend of insurance for them.
Absolutely. And Bill, I have immense respect for those people who have written and underwritten policy forms, but it is absolutely legalese. It is written by attorneys, and it's often very complex. So we simplify that. We make it easy to understand, and we constantly empower our customers as they come to us. We want them to know, first of all, what we can be for them as advocates through the process of purchasing insurance, and then also at claim time. And we empower them to make those decisions through education. It's important that every moment we have with a customer that they're taking from us value, not just in the policy that they have, but the relationship and the experience.
Indeed, you are making the complex simple for the person that needs the insurance, and that's so important. In addition, you're also raising the customer experience as far as customer service goes, because one of the things that I love when you call Stewart Insurance and Risk Management, you could talk to someone with not a problem.
Absolutely. Again, we don't have the call prompts. When you call, you get somebody live on the phone, and you're going to have somebody that can help you through whatever it is that you're going through, whether it's a need for new insurance quotes or whether you're working on renewing your policies with us or just average policy changes when you buy a vehicle. You're going to work with somebody who cares about you, who's confident, and can help you to be confident as you go through that process. And I like to say this, and I say it confidently, that nobody else is out there doing what we do with our customers, and I'm proud of that. So we continue to build that environment, and customers are going to enjoy every experience they have with us.
Very nice. Making the complex simple. Michelle, let's tell them how they can reach out.
Sure, you can reach us at 866-845-4676. And again, that's 866-845-4676.
I'm going to call right now. Thanks, Michelle.
Please do. Thanks, Bill.
And welcome back. Real Estate Matters with Stewart Title. We're winding up the show here in Galveston, Texas at the historic Stewart Building. She is back, the president of the Galveston Chamber of Commerce, Gina Spagnola. Gina, welcome back to the show.
Thank you. What a great show.
It's
How
exciting.
awesome to be here at Stewart Title. We want people to continue to come down here. We love our tourists, but we want those listeners today to have that passion that we do. We want you to consider living here. Consider working here. Consider opening up a business here. We are so many things that I believe people forget about. They think about us as a tourist town. We are so diverse in the maritime industry. We talked about the Port of Galveston. You know, we've got 8,000 college students here. Yeah, we've got Texas A&M, Galveston, and UTMB. Galveston College, which has been #1 for best community college in the state. Think about that.
That's a lot, yeah.
8,000 students. So we're a college town. Like Tom said, very diverse community, and we want people to consider coming down, opening up a business here. Once you do that, you're going to want to live here.
And all they have to do is reach out to you, and
They
let's
need
tell
to
them how they do that.
Reach out to the chamber at galvestonchamber.com, email directly at gspagnola@galvestonchamber.com, 409-763-5326. We want to help you get a business started here. We think that you will really enjoy the life that we have the opportunity to live every single day. I want to give a shout out, if I can, to Stewart Title. We've talked about their rich history, and I said they'd been a chamber member for about 83 years. That's what our research shows, but we lost a lot of that. I think probably from the very beginning. What I want to say about Stewart Title and its people is that every day they operate this fine, fine business, but they are so connected to this community. Every one of these people that you've talked about, they're helping, they're mentoring our kids, they're giving back to the community. There's nothing really that they say no to. David Norris is such a fine man. He sits on our board of directors. He is just one of the finest. He's built a beautiful team here, and I just could not be more grateful to them and the giving back that they do. They could come in every day and just do their business, but they give back to this community.
And thank you so much for those kind words, ladies and gentlemen. Gina Spagnola, check her out, galvestonchamber.com. It's easy to find. And now, Tom, talk to Tom Schwenk. Tom, welcome back to the show.
Thanks, Bill. What a great afternoon. I appreciate being on the show.
It is exciting to have you here. And one last word, Tom, what else would you like people to know about your company and how they can reach out to you as well?
Well, they can always talk to Tom at 713.
Wait a minute, I just got to stop you there because I just like saying that they can not just talk to Tom, but they can always talk to Tom.
And that's at 713-857-2309. And I'd love for more folks to come on down, contact me, become an IBC, which is an Islander by choice. And as the chairman of the City of Galveston's Landmark Commission and a past president of the Galveston Historical Foundation, I pretty much got the drop on everything with codes and requirements in our historic districts.
Very nice. Talk to Tom Schwenk. Thank you, Tom, for being on the show.
My pleasure. Thanks again.
Her name is Carolyn Gaido. Carolyn, welcome back to the show.
Thank you, Bill.
What else would you like them to know?
Well, I'll tell you what I'd like them to know. I'd like them to know to first find a good, knowledgeable realtor when they are coming to Galveston to buy property, and someone who understands flood insurance and just the basic insurance of the island. Also can tell them about flooding and storms and all the things that have occurred. They need to be very knowledgeable.
The knowledgeable realtor is of the utmost importance.
Yes, they need to give them advice and history. All of these questions can be given to a buyer if they find a knowledgeable real estate agent.
And reach out to Carolyn Gaido. Carolyn, how do they reach out to you?
They can reach me at Carolyn Gaido at sandandsea.com. 713-851-3377.
Don't be sad that the show is ending at the time of broadcast because it doesn't really end. You can always listen and sometimes see it on the YouTube channel, but you can always go to Stewart.com Stewart.com/Houston to see or hear all the shows. Again, that's Stewart.com/Houston. Yes, over 125 years ago, we started right here in Galveston. We are now an international company traded on the New York Stock Exchange. STC is the symbol. And again, Stewart.com/Houston. Thank you, David, Norris, Harriet, Dews, Tracey, Ranck, for helping us put this tremendous cast together. And until next week, remember, Stewart.com/Houston, and we'll see you then. Thanks for listening.